Hello out there in video land. Let's get our audio guys going. And hello. Okay, everybody's online now. We've got the video going. We've got the audio going. Everything's rolling here on 4680Q radio this morning. Yeah, on a cold day out there. Now, you got to love the sun. I love the sun. And it's nice when you're standing in the sun, but that wind is biting at around, I'd say around 30 to 32 degrees. My name is Paul Killamere. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the beautiful studios of 4680Q Radio. And here we are, Straight Talk Thursday. We're going to be talking straight. Oh, yeah. We got lots to talk about today. Lots. We're going to look at some city council shenanigans. We're going to be looking at different things around the globe, but a lot of stuff locally here. Local stuff today. It's going to be a local show for the locals. But there's some weird stuff going on in the world. I mean, we're seeing all kinds of crap now. Wacky drones, which I'll probably talk more about tomorrow, I think. Wacky drones. We've got stuff happening in Syria. We're going to talk about lots of stuff today. But first, before we get into that, let's get into my sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Shop. And, we look outside. It's a sunny day, but it's cold, man. You want to make sure your coolant's topped up and everything's right in your car, because these are the brass monkey, balls off a brass monkey day. You don't want your car to get goofed up. Plus, you want it running right. You don't want to get stuck and have to stand out in this weather waiting for CAA. I mean, sure, it's sunny, but it's a cold one out there. You want to get your brakes, your fluid. You want to get everything checked out, and that's what Ken Hunter will do at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. And, he's going to look at everything. Throw your car on the computer to make sure there's no error codes, because if you have them, they're going to act up pretty soon. You want them to be straightened out right away. You don't want to break down. Be proactive. They're going to fix everything and get your car back to you ASAP, but you got to get it in there and be proactive. They also have a full body shop. So if you get in a wreck in this, crappy weather that's going to be coming up, just get it to Wild Bill's. He's going to take it into the shop, send it back to you in showroom condition. You'll be happy. I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy. And we thank you for supporting our sponsor, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop on Oakwood Drive by the Kia dealership. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Yeah, and I was just talking to a guy who has heard my show and went out there, and he said that the Joe White actually is the guy's name, and he said that they were fast and they were fair and they did a great job on his car. So you can't get better than testimonials from actual people who went out there. And I hope he told him he listened to the show. That's where he found out. You got to tell these guys. You got to tell them, because they want to know that me sitting on the radio and on video is sending them a little bit of business. Anyway, support our sponsors. Also, if you look at the video, smash that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. I know if I have about 75 subscribers, but there's probably more people who watch it who haven't subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button so you get notified when the videos pop up. And also give them a thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave comments. I mean, every show, I'm going to give comments. I've got comments to talk about today. So let me know. Let me know what you think about different things. Good or bad. I don't care. I'll take it. I'll take whatever you have to offer. I mean, that's what this is about. Your City, Your Voice. You getting involved with the city and the things going on in the city or around the world, for that matter, and letting us know, because that's how you get a good government. You get good government when people get involved. That's the way it is. Okay, let's move on. So next week, a big show coming called Diamonds and Coal on Your City, Your Voice. We're going to run that on Tuesday. So if you want to tune into a fun show, that's going to be fun on Tuesday, because we are going to predict that after stockings are hung by the chimney with care, and hope that old St. Nicholas soon will be there, well, we're going to give a stocking to each city councilor, and then we're going to predict whether they're getting coal or diamonds for their performance over the last year. Now, if you don't think that's going to be fun, then well, I don't know what you think, because that is going to be a fun show. Who gets diamonds? Who gets coal? And from the comments I'm getting right now, it seems like I'm going to need a lot of coal, but not too many diamonds. That's the feeling I'm going to get. So check this out. City Hall's motto regarding customer service. Read it to them whenever you have a problem with City Hall and need a solution. I'm going to keep repeating this because I found it interesting. Customer service, delivering a welcome and consistent customer service experience centered around the people we serve. So they're focusing on you, the taxpayer. So never forget that. That's who they should be focusing on, but a lot of times we don't see that. And when I called up and got the system there, they asked me if I wanted to talk to Moses. I don't think that's good customer service. And when I repeated myself, they said, I want to talk to soul. Yeah. So anyway, comments from Tuesday's videos. From Penny Brookify. She loved the John Ringo beam. I think, John was here on Tuesday. John dropped in unexpectedly on Tuesday. We had a good show. We had a laugh. John's a great guy. And he said, she said his favorite line was, and this is talking about the signatures for the ward system versus the at-large system that Jody Burnett has going around and online now. You've probably seen it on Facebook. And she said the line was, if it was like a kitten that needed a new paw or something like that, you'd have a million signatures. And John is so right. God, when it comes to their city and their money being spent and everything else, nobody gives a rat's ass. But you put on there that a kitten needs a new paw, prosthetic paw, there'd be $1 million raised. And she says, good show, gentlemen. And another viewer on YouTube, at your personality shows, the person said, I go into the planning department. It's so acoustically bad that you can't have a conversation. And I don't know if you've ever been to a restaurant like that. You try to sit there and it's packed with people and it's so loud you can't even talk to each other. Well, that's what it's like in the planning department. You go in there and you can't have a conversation because the acoustics are so bad. So fix that, City Hall. Customer service. What's it say here? A consistent customer services experience centered around people we serve. People you serve are telling you that it's bad in there. Put up some sound breaks, like this thing over here, this blue thing, and this yellow thing back here. There's sound breaks. City Council notes from the meeting. I didn't put a lot of notes down. There's a lot of stuff talked about, but there's a couple things that got me. This presentation from the Innovation Hub, bragging about how great they're doing. Well, I told you my story about the Innovation Hub. One call to the guy that was talking at City Hall, Bordnave, whatever his name is, never bothered to return my call. And I gave him, told him I was a referral from Councillor Lori Lococo. So the respect for council, I guess, is zilch. Because usually when you drop a name of a counselor, people get back to you. No, not even a phone call. 3 weeks later, I call up. I'm going to tell the story again and keep telling it because you know what? It affects my judgment as how much money we're going to give them, which is going to be a big fat zero this year, I hope. Yeah, I called back. When my call back got a lady, she told me, "Oh no, they don't answer. They don't answer messages. They don't. So you got to email them." And here's the person you email. Oh, this is what she does. She can help you. And I told her my what I was looking for. Sent an email explaining what I was looking for. Not even an email back. Nothing. What am I on? A blacklist? Am I blacklisted in this city for stuff? I don't know. I called them what I saw on Scott Street. It was people were sliding by the intersections. 12 hours later, Sander came by. I don't know. They see my name, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, that's what happened at the Innovation Hub. Innovation? Are you kidding me? Joke. They want $700,000 from the taxpayers. That's what they got last year. Well, when the operations budget comes in, give them nothing. Don't give them a red cent. I mean, they're there bragging about how great they're doing. People from all over the world coming, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? That may be. And that means that you can support yourself. Taxpayers don't have to kick in anymore. So forget about it. And I bet I want to, you know what I want to see from the Innovation Hub? Any counselor out there who's bothering to listen, I want to see the books. I want to see where they're spending their money. I want full disclosure. That's what I want from these guys. Let's see those books. I know there's a lot of big salaries over there getting paid, and the 700,000 that we give them taxpayers, I wouldn't doubt if it's all gone in salaries with these people. I'm telling you, we got to see their books. We want transparency for them. We want to see their books, and then don't give me we don't have the books done. No, give me 2023. Give me 2022. If you don't have 2024 yet. I want to see some books, and every counselor should want to see some books. And if they don't want to see their books, then I would say they're in cahoots with them. There's something going on. This has got to be transparent. And could there be a Freedom of Information Act being launched? We don't see the books. I wouldn't doubt it. Anyway, enough about them. They just make me mad. A whole bunch of them. Every counselor commented on the wastewater numbers, pointing fingers. And yeah, I mean, the region's an easy target because really they run that realm, right? And then we have our own little gig going where we have to fix water mains and oversee new builds, new water mains and services, water services. And we have to fix water main breaks. So we do have a crew and we bring in contractors. So I have a really hard time criticizing city council about the water. And I know it goes up and it's more tax and that, but the region controls a lot of it, maybe 55% or so. And then we have our own part. But, since Walkerville, if you remember that years ago, and where there was E. coli or something in the water, people were dying from drinking it and using it. The province really came down hard on everybody. So a lot of the stuff you see is must have stuff, must have procedure, and also the city councilors are liable if something happens to the water and people get sick or die. City council is liable. So you gotta think that they're going to ensure that what's right is done. The water is safe. The water is safe to drink in that. I mean, okay, you guys all get bottled water. The big shots out there, bottled water. Oh. But you know what? A lot of people don't have the money to get bottled water, go buy bottles of water all the time. So they drink tap water. And I have to admit, I can buy bottled water, but I like tap water. This bottle you see every day, that's tap water. Right out of the tap, Niagara Falls water. I like it. And people are going, are you crazy? No, well, I mean, I've lived this long. My mother drank it almost all of her life, and she's 99. So, okay. Salute. Thank you, City of Niagara Falls. But on the other hand, city councils are responsible and they have to take the right procedures. So, yeah, I don't mind paying another $9,000 this year, a small increase in the city water part of it. The region we have no control over, and I don't mind paying a little bit more for safe water. I don't mind that at all. So the sewer fees, they kind of get me, but the water fees, no. I want safe drinking water. Any city would like to have good roads, a clean city, a safe city, and have safe, clean drinking water. I think they're the 4 commandments that we make of our city council to make sure that's the way things go. So I'm not gonna chastise them for anything to do with water, unless it's so ridiculous. I mean, we don't 1,000% increase. That's crazy because it is a tax. But it's funny because a lot of people stood up pointing the fingers at regional council and blah blah blah. But where were they when they could do something about something they can control, which was the capital budget? Nobody got up and spoke to that. 382 pages. The capital budget came down on November 26th. One person got up. I shouldn't say nobody because Councilor Lococo is a somebody, and she got up and tried to save the taxpayers about $1.50. Yeah, $1.5 million to no avail. But nobody else got up and commented other than Councilor Strange to dismiss Lori Lococo and bully her. What a bore. But where were the councilors that night? I mean, like they should just pick and choose their battles. And when you have 382 pages of thousands of expenses, and not one person gets up and questions any of those expenses, it tells me two things: they don't care, or they never read it. That's it. One counselor out of 7 others and a mayor. And now nobody got up to question it. And the guy doing the presentation never once mentioned about cutting expenses. Oh, he told us we'll tax you more. And he told us that we'll cut your services and we'll do all this other crappy stuff to you. But not once did he say, you know what? We need to tighten our belts. We got to forego some of these expenses. What don't we really need? Like, we don't need a $13 million trail. We don't need concrete ping pong tables. So, it's highly regulated. And when you heard Regional Councilor Kim Crater talk, he had it right. Council's responsible and liable. So, yeah, I can't blame them for wanting it to be safe, and I'll never criticize them for that. The other interesting discussion at length was about reducing city council meeting hours, and that would save taxpayer dollars because all those people sitting around for 9 hours at a city council meeting, they all get paid. They all get paid. Whether it's a salary person, it's part of their remuneration. Whether it's an hourly person sitting there for 8 or 9 hours, whether it's city councilors sitting there because they get paid. And when it was all said and done, our chief accountant there said it's $1,600 an hour to run the city council meeting, and that includes somebody there filming it all, live broadcast, they're streaming it all at about $190 an hour, I heard. So the shorter we can make those meetings, the more money the city's going to save on that $1,600 an hour. Like 10 hours is $16,000 for the night. 4 hours is what? $6,400. Yeah, big savings. So they had a big discussion about it, and basically all the discussion, and they still don't get it. They don't get it. The only thing they changed was the time of the in-camera. They moved the city council meetings to start at 2 with the first motion to go in camera for 2 hours, and then really pick up the regular meeting at 4 o'clock, right? Because they're always in camera for 2 hours or so. So that's how they figure they're going to save money, because the staff don't have to come in till 4, which they'll save a couple hours. So they will save a couple hours probably, right? But they still have to sit their staff through all the deputations and presentations. And they all take time. And the city council staff has nothing to do with it. If they're giving awards and that, they have nothing to do with it. It's the mayor up there giving out awards, shaking hands, and that kind of thing. But staff don't have to be there for that hour or whatever it is. Yeah. And, I watched it, and Chris Dabrowski, Councilor Dabrowski, tried to explain it to him, but they didn't get it. They didn't understand. I swear, he must have listened to my show here because he was making some good points. But the rest of the council didn't get it at all and kept on about the in-camera and start times. Now, the main culprits here, like I said, were never tackled. Deputation and presentations, non-essential chatter, including a mayor in his start of the meeting, and adhering to the 5-minute limit. And the 5-minute limit really makes me laugh. Jody Burdett gets up there, he's told 5 minutes, he's reminded a million times, and then told that's it, end it, wrap it up. but it's only an effect on certain people because that big buck of law, Nick DiBenedetti, was given as much time as he needed to repeat everything over and over and do picture presentations. He took up at least a half an hour. And even after he said every counselor had been to his house to see the problem down there, like they didn't need the pictures or the big description. They knew exactly what was going on, and they were ready to vote on it right away. They knew they were ready to go on the problem with the fence and the proximity on city property and everything. And he really wasn't stopped. He approached a half an hour. Mayor Jim hit him at the 5-minute mark saying, you got to wrap this up. And 35 minutes later, he wrapped it up. It was crazy. And then his mother was there yelling at the mayor after that. And Big Buckalot number 2, his brother, got shots in as well. So they're all yelling at the mayor, right? Well, and I know these people. They're very good people. They're very good people. And they live across the street, and they have to put up with this nonsense. And it's like Summer Street all over again. But at the end of the day, like the last person who yelled at Jim Diodati in a meeting, Sandra McKinnon, she got thrown out. They called the sergeant at arms, get her out of here. Right? And and this old Italian lady gave council a dressing down. Oh man, she was beautiful. Renata, I think her name is. She was yelling, and then it was beautiful. Nobody said a word. Jim Diodati sat there. He was like, not saying a word, because if he would have, she would have tore his head off. Oh yeah. So I think Jimmy was the thing. And then once they finally got her, and she yelled all the way out the door. And then once Jimmy, and then once she was being moved up the door, the brother got up there and started going on these bacalas, these papagallos. It was funny. But deputations and presentations should be held once a month in an award ceremony at appropriate venues. So if you have sports awards, have them once a month at the Gale Center. Arts and Culture Awards at the Exchange, and all other awards at the McBain Center. Get them out of the council meeting. That's going to save at least an hour there. Because when they do presentations to hockey teams, there's 10, 20 kids that come up. And they all got to get a picture, all got to do a handshake, all got to get an award. And then the coach has to give a presentation. And then the assistant coach has to talk about the team. And I mean, it's crazy. And you're paying staff $1,600 an hour to sit there. Staff isn't involved. Why are they sitting there through this? Have it at the McBain Center. Send the mayor and any counselors who can make it if they want to go. Give the awards out, video it, put it on the city website, congratulate everybody, and away you go. Get it out of the meeting. They got to remember this is a business meeting. That's all it's about, is business. It's not a tea social. It's none of that. It's a business meeting. We're talking about business here. That's it. We don't want to know what Aunt Sally did last week when she saw a robin on her front lawn. No. This isn't what it's about. It's a business meeting. It's stick to that. And Mayor Jim has to control the meeting. When these people get out of hand, he's got to stop them. And I'm not talking about the gallery here. Although he has to stop them too, if he can. He couldn't stop these guys. But yeah, you got to stop counselors when they go on different tangents and they move outside the realm of the question at hand or the planning matter at hand or anything. And they can get it down. I'd say they can get these meetings down to a manageable 4.5 hours. Easy. If they stop the tea party social chit chat, stop grandstanding and getting up there for no reason saying, I agree fully with this, blah, 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 blah. Hey, listen, you know how you agree? You put up your hand when they ask for the vote. You don't have to get up there. If every counselor got up and did a 3 or 4 minute diatribe and talked about for nothing, every time something was passed or they agree with something, that's 8 counselors times 3 minutes each. That's 24 minutes, half an hour. Like, they don't take these times into consideration. Every time they get up and talk, there's 3 or 4 minutes. Add it all up, and you got an hour or two of meeting just of nonsense. If you agree, You don't have to get up and go. No, put your hand up. I agree. Yay or nay. And if you don't agree, do the same thing. If you have questions about it, if you have questions that need to be answered that the public are asking, yes, by all means ask them. Other questions, you talk to staff before the meeting. And that's the biggest thing. Be prepared. Know the agenda. Read each point. You can't do it sitting there on the fly. It's got to be done beforehand. You got to know what you're talking about. And then if questions do come up, in your mind as people are talking about it, the planners giving the presentations, the person to representing the developers needs questions. Okay, great, ask them. If there needs to be a discussion on something, discuss it. But just don't waste time. Don't waste time getting camera time. That's all. That's all that's got to be done. Now, my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Hey, if you're going to have a pizza tonight, give Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue a call. Seriously, they make a serious pizza over there. Now, how do they make a serious pizza? Well, Mike was in the Italian restaurant business for 15 years. They use the Mancini family recipes for sauce and crust. Phenomenal. Mike takes Saputo mozzarella. He mixes it with brick cheese, so you get that nice flavor, the nice texture, the nice taste, the stretch. Oh yeah, they do it right over there. And not only is their pizza real good, but steak and cheese poutine, steak sandwich. My buddy Tony Nero said their steak sandwich was fantastic. They have chicken wings, unbelievable chicken wings, really well done, really good. So they have a full menu, and I showed it on one show. I opened it up, it was like this, folded in three, like big pages, right? Yeah, bigger than that, probably a legal size menu, but it's got everything. They got everything: sandwiches, hot sandwiches, poutine. You have to go through the menu. They got everything, fries, you name it. Anyway, Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue. That's where you want to go. You got to try their pizza. I'm a pizza snob. And believe me, I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't like it. My heart wouldn't be in it. But it is. And that's why I'm talking about them. You just have to dial 905-374-2222. And you got yourself a nice pizza. Go to Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca and you can see their menu right there. Beautiful. And tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. They've extended their hours. They're open till I think 11 during the weekend and Friday and Saturday till 2 in the morning. So you want that late night pizza? You got it, my friend. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue. Go get your pizza today. You know you want one. I always want a pizza. Makes me happy, right? Especially when I'm watching City Council. It's either pizza or Norman Rockwell through the TV. I get mad sometimes. So there's a major thing going on here. There's a big happening, big thievery. So important. Mayor Diodati posted it on Facebook. Somebody stole that Niagara Falls Christmas tree on Mountain Road, and everybody's freaking out. Did you see this thing? I can't believe they put it up. It's embarrassing. Rusted out old metal rod tree with lights. The city known for their winter festival of lights. That's how they welcome people to the city. And you know what the sad part is? Right beside it is this gorgeous, tall, blue spruce tree. That's what you want to decorate, not some cheap metal rusted out. Whoever took that, you think they're going to do anything? You know what they're going to do with it? Take it right to the scrapyard on Bunting Road, wherever that scrap thing is there on Glendale, just over the canal. They're going to take it there for scrap. Some scrapper, I'll guarantee some scrapper went by and threw it in his truck. You thought they were throwing it out, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, they're yelling and screaming about it, and I hate to think somebody would take that thing and put it in their front yard. They have no self-respect. I mean, they should decorate the tree. I mean, just think about it. If city council can spend 25,000 on a concrete ping pong table, surely they can spend a few $100 on lights to light up that beautiful tree. To be honest with you, whoever took it, I think they did the city a favor. Get that out of there. Although I would never encourage theft and feel if they catch the perpetrators, they should be charged under the full order of the law and pay the city for the structure. What would it be worth? $100? I don't know. Which the city probably paid 10 times that for when it was made. If you really want another one made, go see Hamel Machine Shop. They'll fabricate one out of rebar for you, because that's what that one looked like. It was made out of old rebar or something, a quarter-inch rebar, like coat hangers. And they'll make you another one. Yeah, support our sponsors, Niagara Falls City Hall. So anyway, yep, the tree's gone. Everybody's bummed out. Jim Diodati's got the search party out there looking for the tree. And I don't know. I'll give you a clue. I mean, I can only give you my clue. That would be go down to Glendale Avenue, just down the street there, and look in the scrapyard. It's probably laying there with a bunch of other crap. Okay, now here's a beauty, you guys. This is a beauty, and this happens so many times where, we talk about the crime and everything, right? And this is what happens. I'm going to tell you the story. Here's a beauty. A woman charged with drunk driving in Kitchener zoomed herself into the courtroom at her trial. That's right. She attended her trial by Zoom from Sri Lanka, where she's now living. Well, how about that? She is charged with drunk driving, jumps on a plane, and goes where she don't have to go to jail or anything. Yep, impaired driving charges being laid while she is 14,000 miles away, safe and sound from the law of our land. Apparently in 2022, she was arrested after getting out of her car in her garage, never putting the car in park, and was pinned against her wall in the garage. So gassed, a neighbor found her and called 911. When the cops arrived, they noted an odor of booze on her breath and a bottle of hooch open on the passenger seat. She was stewed to the gills. A neighbor saw her driving erratically before the event, and the woman refused to give a breath sample to police. No, I'm not giving a sample. She pleaded guilty to impaired driving on the Zoom trial. Of course, she's over in Sri Lanka. Why wouldn't she? Well, lawyer said she became a severe alcoholic following a divorce. And the best way for her to beat her addiction wasn't to quit drinking or go to the Betty Ford Clinic, was to start a new life by going back to Sri Lanka. Maybe Betty Ford runs clinics in Sri Lanka. Conveniently, she decided this after the impaired driving charges, of course. She's not going to decide before, right? If she was going to get off on them, her mouthpiece said she deserves credit for pleading guilty. Are you kidding me? She pleads guilty from 14,000 miles away. Give her credit for what? Fleeing the charges? Fleeing the country? Oh, man, these lawyers, I'm telling you. Oh, my goodness. Yep. And she was also convicted of drunk driving in 2019. So this isn't her first rodeo. And sometimes you do time if it's bad enough for your second offense, right? So anyway, this wasn't her first rodeo, and give her credit. She pleaded guilty from Sri Lanka, so no penalty can be imposed. Sure. So what did the judge do? Well, he fined her $4,000 and banned her from driving for 2 years in Canada. Whoop-de-doo. Court will never see the money. We know that. And who cares about the 2-year ban? I mean, he's not here anyway. Here's what he should have done. Because she fled the country to avoid charges, she should have pulled her passport, never to be able to enter Canada again. She's an undesirable. That's what should have been done. And the courts should tack on interest on the $4,000, as well as say if she ever is caught in Canada again, the 2 years driving ban will be life. she'll do time in prison and owe $4,000 plus any interest accrued over the years that she wasn't here. Yeah, and you know what? Now the trial's over, that don't be surprised if she comes to Canada under another name and she's let in, and probably somehow she'll get $10.5 million from Trudeau for something. And this happens all the time. People come into this country, they commit crimes, then they just take off. They're still looking for a couple of the guys that pulled that the human trafficking thing and some other charges over the states. They caught some of them, but the ones they didn't catch They fled back to wherever they're from. And if this happens, the Canadian passport should be pulled, and then of course they should be on the no entry list at all borders. You flee to avoid prosecution, you're not welcome here. Come on. This is what Trump spoke to Castro about in Mar-a-Lago. Get your border together or else. These criminals got to go and they got to stay out. You got to get rid of them. So, this is a no-brainer, obviously. This is what happens, but they're back. Under Biden, the states were no better. Lincoln Riley, all these other cases, they're all repeat offenders who were thrown out, were arrested and let out on the turnstile revolving door of the courts, right? Yeah, so pretty crazy on the weekend over in Syria there, where for 13 years there's been an ongoing civil war. The rebels stormed Damascus and overthrew Assad. He's fled the capital to where is believed Russia. Now the report says getaway helicopter crashed. Seems to be a great way to get rid of people in the Mideast. As you remember, the Iran's helicopter crashed, killing the Iran's president not that long ago. Those reports were deemed false. They say he's in Russia. So what's this mean over in the Middle East? It's not like we don't have enough problems over there. Well, Hezbollah has pulled out. Iran and Russia's influence is now over. And the rebels who took over Damascus and took over Syria and threw Assad out said they're going to hand over power to any democratic government that is chosen by the people. That's yet to be seen. They're rebels for a reason. But that would be a great thing if it happened that way. Now, if you remember Assad, he's the guy who gassed his own people, a red line in the sand that Obama said he would deal with if Assad crossed it. But he never did anything. He's left this country in ruins. Civil war. So what's next for Syria? Well, probably more fighting with a myriad of groups pursuing conflicting agendas. You have different sects there and everything else. Turkey-backed Syrian forces have taken control of 80% of the north, and they're close to victory over the Kurds. Russia's sticking their nose in as well. They were a staunch ally of Assad and helped him during the 2015 civil war. In the east, the U.S. has and will take steps to prevent a surge of ISIS during this transition period. The people of Syria are celebrating. They're hoping for peace finally. So it's a good thing in a way. But the two biggest allies of Syria, Russia and Iran, are involved in their own problems. Russia's involved with Ukraine, and Iran is involved with Israel and their proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, including Iran themselves. So they really didn't get involved in the fall of Assad. They let it happen, or he would have probably retained power if they got involved. But they got their own problems. Rebels who took over, HTS they're called, are considered terrorists by the U.S. and UN, and they're formerly part of Al-Qaeda before breaking away. So the big question, how peaceful will the transition be? How will they rebuild? And if any sanctions from the U.S. will now be lifted because Assad is gone. Of course, Israel is watching closely after having launched attacks on Damascus recently. I thought they just launched some attacks in the last few days, too, in Syria. So it's an ongoing battle. See how it all ends. Let's see, we've got, today's December the 12th. So we have 19 and 39 days. 39 days. Help is on its way. Back over to Canada here. President Trump has warned Trudeau about getting the Canadian border in order, and he's serious. Well, part of Castro's border plan hinges on 2.4 million people who are here on temporary visas that run out. And they're supposed to be leaving the country. You know, let's get serious here. They're never going to leave the country. They're never going to go. I can't even think that people know where they are. They don't even know. These diploma mills like the University of Niagara Falls have been pumping out diplomas, student visas, and these guys are getting in here and staying. They don't know where they are. They don't know what they're doing. 2.4 million aren't going anywhere. I can guarantee that, unless they want to go home voluntarily, right? So it's not going to happen. But he's depending on that as part of his pitch to Trump that, oh yeah, we're going to take care of it. We got this many people leaving, and Canada's worked its way to let all kinds of immigrants in. They're illegals. A lot of them, these refugees, are not vetted. Some have been fast tracked. I mean, who knows? Yeah, the CBSA can detain foreign nationals, but that remains a measure of last resort. Unlike Trump, who says they all have to go. The Castros made no plans for mass deportations of these people. He hopes they will just leave on their own. What a maroon. We all know they aren't going anywhere. So if he keeps it up, Justin, did you see him? He's sitting there with his little suit and all his Taylor Swift wristbands on. Oh, yeah, he's got the Taylor Swift bands on. Oh, yeah. What is this guy, 10 years old? Oh, my God. I can't believe our prime minister sitting there with the Taylor Swift bands on it. 3 weeks after the concert or whatever. Oh, this guy's wacky. I mean, as sure as God created the heavens and earth, we're going to see a tariff. This guy, and the premiers know it. The provincial premiers know it. Pierre Poilievre knows it, and he's told Trump to smarten up, along with the premiers. See what he does. Like I say, now he's got 39 days to smarten up. See what he actually does and what happens with him. But I don't know. You just got a feeling that we're going to be seeing tariffs. Because this guy, I don't think he can get his border in order. And Ford's really, really mad. He needs to have this happen because he said, guess what? He goes, Canada is the first biggest trading partner of the U.S. Mexico is the second. Third is Ontario. Imagine that, a province up there with two countries. We do so much trade with the U.S. and he doesn't want Trudeau screwing this up. But here's Ford, right? What's he saying? We're going to cut all power, all energy off to the United States. Well, Premier Ford, and that's a nice thought. But here's what's going to happen: the United States are going to drill, baby, drill, and they're going to have their own power, and they're going to tell Canada to stick it. They don't need you. Aren't you learning from the postal strike, the posties? You make people mad enough, you challenge them, and they're going to tell you to stick it. And they're going to find other ways to do whatever you've taken away from them. And guess what? You've taken away the mail. You've taken away our Christmas presents. You've taken away the oil. You've taken away the energy. You don't want to ship any more electricity or anything. Fine. Don't worry. We'll make our own. We'll make more of our own. And then you know what? We don't need you. Who's this guy think he is? But anyway, let's see him try it. All bravado, all big talk, all talk, no action. Believe me, they're gonna do what Trump says, or else, and they're gonna hurt if they don't. And they can cut the United States out of anything. I don't care what they cut them out of, oil or power or whatever they say. Believe me, the United States has 350 million people. They're resourceful, and they will get it done without you. Don't challenge them. And oh yeah, Canadians are going, we're going to stand up to these guys. Yeah, go ahead. Speaking of the postal strike, remember that postal strike? Yeah, well, it started 4 weeks ago, and most people have forgotten about it. Why, you ask? Well, because the service is truly becoming known as a non-essential service. that only a handful of people, in comparison to the population of Canada, rely on. They're finding other means to accomplish what they must regarding delivery because they haven't had mail for a month now. And their lives are still rolling on. They're not hurting. They're just finding ways to circumvent the postal system, and eventually they won't need them. Seriously, has anybody had their life disrupted because of the strike? I would say the only people whose lives are disrupted are the posties. They have. They're not getting paychecks right before Christmas. Hey, they rolled the dice. They rolled snake eyes. They lost. You're not an essential service. If you don't know that by now, well, hey, everybody is taken to the internet and doing things a different way. And they're being told by email or by word or on the news how to do it. It's not a big mystery. It's easy to do. But you know what? There are lobby groups asking the government to step in, but the government's saying not a chance of that. Now it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, Christmas is so close. You're not going to get Aunt Millie's fruitcake from Walla Walla, Washington on time, regardless if they go back to work or not. They really don't matter. Because even if the strike ended tomorrow, you're not getting stuff. They have 4 weeks of backlog, millions of pieces of a lot of junk mail. Yeah, they'll get back to work when they get back eventually. They wanted 24%. The government said, I don't know, 11.4% over the next 4 years. They were down to 19. They're just negotiating. But the posties really rolled the dice, like I say, and rolled snake eyes. And all their 4 week reign of terror here is for naught. They've ended up gone all in on this one after the flop. Now they must wait for the turn in the river, 5th Street, if you will, to see how they make out. And the cards are not in their favor. The people are holding pocket aces, and they're holding a 3-7 non-suited. So yeah. So sorry. Now I want to get into my. Did I talk? Oh yeah, I got to talk about my third sponsor. Yeah, Hamill Machine Shop. We talked about them making the new Christmas tree. Go down and see Hamill make that new Christmas tree for Mountain Road there, and they'll even powder coat it probably and make it look nice rather than that old rusty thing they had there. But if you've ever had anything metal break, anything, and wonder how you're going to get it fixed. Well, Hamill Machine Shop, they're the guys who do it all. If you've ever wanted a custom piece of metal made, maybe a gate for your backyard, anything, a lawn ornament, whatever, Hamill Machine Shop, that's what they do. Custom design, laser cutting, machining, creating new parts, re-engineering new parts from old ones, fixing old parts that have broken. They do it all there. They even have a 3D printer. They can print you up a new part. It's amazing. That's what they do at Hamill Machine Shop. And you know what? They did a lot with the public, believe it or not. That's one of the first things I said. Did you do a lot of work with the public? Yeah, oh, yeah. People come in all the time and they bring their stuff here to get fixed. The city goes in there and gets their equipment fixed when they break something, Some guy's running down the road and smashes the lawnmower into a thing and blows the deck apart. They got to get it welded back up rather than buy another, $10,000 deck. They go up there and Hamilton patches it all up like new. That's what they do, and they're experts at it. Precision machining. Hey, you got an old car, can't get a part? They can make it for you over there. Don't worry about it. And that's what Jody Burnett said. He said when he was building his building over there, he had some parts he had to get made and stuff he needed made, and he went to Hamill Machine Shop. They made them all for him. So, and they do big projects, industrial projects as well, custom made things for wineries and that kind of thing. They're very, very good at what they do. So you got to go see them at Hamill Machine Shop. You have a problem, go see them. They can help you. Anything metal for sure. Strip bolt. Go, they'll rethread it for you. They do everything, man. Check out their website, hamillmachine.ca, for more information, and tell them Paul from Your City Your Voice sent you. Support our sponsors. They support the city, and they support the show. And tell them I sent you. Yeah, you got to tell them I sent you, of course, right? Let him know. We're talking about him. I know Dave Wheeler Wheels. He was big on that. He goes, that's fantastic. He goes, public don't know that they exist out there doing these kind of things. Now they're going to know. Okay, so what else we got here? Let's go over here. Okay, page 8. What do we got here? This bizarre Midtown Manhattan assassination. Are you watching this? This is the wackiest thing I've ever seen. If there's ever been an assassin that's so inept as Luigi Mangione, that's the guy's name, I've never seen it. How can an assassin do everything wrong at once? I mean, this guy forgot about cameras all over the place in New York City. There's one on every corner. It's probably more cameras in Manhattan than there are in the world. He allowed his movements to be tracked, and finally got caught at an Altoona, PA McDonald's when a patron recognized him and told an employee, and the employee called police. That was a not so happy meal he was having at the time of the arrest, I'll tell you. Come on, man. If there's an assassination handbook, this would be a classic case of what not to do. And when they found him, he had all the evidence on him. The gun, the manifesto, fake ID, everything. Are you serious? Who would do this? Even the biggest dummy, when they do something like this, gets rid of the evidence. They don't keep it on them. And, like this guy's he's an engineer. He wrote his master's. He's a smart guy. I mean, this is crazy. It's sort of way out there. And something doesn't sit right with me about this whole affair. I can't wait to see what's going to happen here. I mean, his face is all over the TV, and his parents, his brother, and a cousin who's a Republican national something. They never called the cops, said, that's our son. What the hell were they waiting for? Just weird. And the outrage at killing a family man with 2 kids and a wife. Well, I think his wife was separated. They're separated, but still, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's crazy, and there are people who are supporting him, saying these health insurance people, they deserve it. They don't pay claims. They screw everybody. I can't believe it. The guy guns down somebody, and he's a hero. But isn't this the way it is? Criminals are victims, and victims are criminals. It's the way it is now. Everything's backward. Everything's back. Bad is good. Good is bad. White is black. Black is white. But the blame should be put on the big healthcare companies, not poor Luigi. Some are even blaming Trump. Left-wing radicals are taking his side in the killing. Pocahontas, Fakeahontas was taking his side. It's unbelievable. This is the wackiest thing I've ever seen. Well, you know what? 39 days, Trump has taken America back from these whack jobs. Taking it back. But I think this guy's a Manchurian candidate. He's another Oswald, a patsy for somebody. Something weird's going on here. This isn't the way it happens. This isn't the way it happens. But we're seeing it live. I mean, he maybe didn't even know he did the killing. Do you remember Sirhan Sirhan, the guy who killed Robert F. Kennedy? He stood right in front of him and shot him. He said he never did it. Don't remember doing it. They tackled him on the ground. I don't think it was him who killed him anyway, but he did shoot a gun. And to this day, he's in jail. He's 80 years old. He tells the same story he did in 1968. He didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. I don't remember doing it. They were talking about him being a Manchurian candidate. So this guy is bucking extradition to New York, and his lawyers say there's no evidence that he was the killer. Carrying an illegal gun, having a manifesto, and even him being in New York City doesn't prove he was the one that pulled the trigger. Well, now they've got fingerprints at the scene, DNA evidence. They've got the gun they fired. It matches the bullets that were found on the ground. I mean, he's definitely going to go to trial in New York. His lawyer has to drop that part of it, I guess, and he will stand gun trial charges. Charges in Pennsylvania, maybe, but I think the federal case will probably supersede the state case, and he's going back to New York City. But it's going to be interesting to see the story as it breaks out of the news because, like I say, it gets wackier every time I hear it, and every day there's more information coming out about things that he did, where he was in Hawaii, the gone to privileged schools, private schools, went to these A1 universities, had a privileged life. His family had tons of money. They owned golf courses and all kinds of stuff. So he had a privileged life, and another problem though he had is some kind of a back problem that the pain relief, he wasn't getting pain relief from it or something. They said. Plus, he went to these colleges, these liberal colleges, and they get brainwashed into believing certain things. So you never know. You never know. And on the other hand, we had that Mr. Penny in New York City who saw a guy threatening people on the subway, threw the guy in a chokehold. The guy died, but not from his chokehold, they say. And he was afraid the guy was going to hurt people on the subway, so he took it into his own hands to stop this guy. And he got off. He got off charges of murder and all that, which is fantastic. Geez, it's nice to know that if you're under threat in the subway, that there's going to be somebody, and this guy's an ex-Marine, who's going to step in and help you. If you're a woman on that subway or somebody who's not that big or something, and you got a big guy threatening you, it's nice to know that if there's any trouble, somebody's going to step in and give you a hand. Holy jeez. And then the guy steps in and gives him a hand and is charged. No, didn't fly. The jury wouldn't let it fly. This guy's out, as it should be, and all things are good. Although, yeah, you got all the people outside protesting, and it's George Floyd or Floyd George, whatever his name is, all over again. No, that's not the way it is. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. That's all I want to talk about. I'll pick out more from City Council as we go along. We thank Ray Spiteri. He writes for the Review, and he does all the stories on City Council. I mean, I watch it myself, but he gives some good insight into what's going on, and he's a great writer. So I advise everybody, if you don't get the Review by paper, nobody does anymore anyway. You get an electronic copy. What is it? It's $73 a year. It's not that much, $6 a month. And the good thing is that you get all the good stories written by Ray Spiteri, Allison Langley, Bill Sawchuk, John Law, all the great writers. You get to see it all, and you get to see what's going on, and it's fantastic. And one last word about City Council, while I think of it, is they okayed naming Buckley Avenue, St. Lawrence Avenue in Niagara Falls, Rick Rose Way, or whatever they're going to tag it as, an honorary name on it to honor Rick Rose and the legend he left with the city. Niagara Falls boy, born and bred, was all over the world with music, top music, helped so many people out. And they're going to name a part of Queen Street after him, an honorarium name. And I think that's so fantastic. He deserves it. Thank you, Wendy Laird, for bringing this to council's attention and getting this done. And can't say enough good about Rick Rose. I'm here because of him. A lot of the shows here are because of him and 4680Q. And we thank him every day for the things he did for us. We loved him, and he loved everybody else, and he did a lot for everybody, a lot more for people than they did for him, believe me. Okay, so next week, Manic Monday, and then Tuesday, Diamonds and Coal. I can't wait for that show. If you want to have a laugh, look into that show. If you're a city councilor, you might not want to watch. Wednesdays, absolutely. Then Straight Talk Thursday, finally Friday, and on the 23rd, a 4-hour extravaganza hosted by myself and Pat Porter, where we will have all the show hosts from the 4680Q crew in the studio to talk Christmas. what they do, their customs, a little bit about their show. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun out 4 hours in the studio. And 24th, I won't be doing a show live on the radio on 4680Q, but I will be doing a show from the Video Sign Incorporated studios that will be on YouTube. Wishing all of you a very Merry Christmas from noon to 1, the regular time. Somewhere around there it'll be on. But I might not get to video for a couple hours because, it takes time to get on the video on YouTube. But that's going to be there on the 24th. If you have nothing else to do on Christmas Eve, check out the video. What the heck? The show on the 23rd is going to start at 10 in the morning and run to 2 p.m. So it's going to be a fun day, right? Starting in the morning. We're going to get everybody in and wish everybody the merriest of Christmases, and the happiest of New Year's. And on the 26th, Boxing Day, we're going to do a special edition of Absolutely, because Christmas falls on a Wednesday. And you know what? There's so many important games for the Montreal Canadiens between now and the end of the year that we cannot forget a show. We have to have a show. So we're going to be doing the Absolutely shows. They're just going to be rescheduled. One's going to be on the 20. I think we're going to do it on the 26th, and the next one will be on New Year's Eve day, so December 31st. That's a Tuesday. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments on anything I said, and I'll get them on air. And we thank you for tuning in. Your City, Your Voice on 4680Q Radio. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue, and Hamill Machine Shop. We will see you tomorrow with Finally Friday. And guess what Finally Friday is? It's the 13th of December. And guess what Friday the 13th is? Yeah, you got it. And never say it's too cold, because you know what's going to be happening. We'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody. Ciao, ciao. For now, see you tomorrow at noon before the weekend.